Well, welcome everyone to the Women's to Power Network. I am so excited you're here, and I'm even more excited to have Pia Becker from Germany with us today. So it's good evening for her. And just to give you a little background, Pia was very brave and courageous. She was one of our first authors in our book last year called The Power Within: Finding Strength, Voice, and Vision. And
Thank
her
you.
chapter was called Embrace Your Awesomeness Through Celebrating Wins. And that's what we're going to be talking about today is the power of celebrating wins. And she's going to share with us why it's so important and some of her journey of how she came to discover and understand all this. So, hello, Pia.
Hello. Hey, from Germany, from to wherever you are on this world, which is already one win that I want to celebrate here with all of you, that we actually have that opportunity to do that together and don't need to think about which time zone or which country we are. We can come together and do such amazing things together. That's I love that. And I love the fact that I have the opportunity to be part of that. And it's on my celebration list all the time. So yeah, celebrating already that thing.
Yeah, and here we are, another week already. When you're having fun, it goes really fast, doesn't it?
Oh, time is running so fast lately. So it's I don't even think about it anymore because it drives me crazy when I think about we just had Christmas. Now half a year's already gone and another Christmas is almost coming.
So let's back up a little bit for the audience. And by the way, anybody watching us live, if you have any questions for Pia, or even after, if you're watching the replay, feel free to ask your questions or put comments. Share your journey below this live interview. So, if we could back up a little bit, what was the story, the journey that led you to being passionate about this very specific thing that you do?
It was a incident with myself, which made me realize what happenings in my mind. And um, yeah, eventually you can read also everything in the book. So if you are interested in the details, buy the book and read the chapter. But basically, it happened like 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember because time flies. It was my first book collaboration. I did two before I did take took part in The Power Within, and the very first one was about worthiness, and the title was I Am Worthy, and I thought at that point I was on a pretty good way to rebuild my perspective or yeah, restructure my perspective of self-worth and how worthy I see myself and so on. And then the book was ready, we were published, went on bestseller lists, and I got my first copies to my home to have it really the hard copies in my hand and to sell it from there as well. And I hold it in my hand, and I was so, for a split second, I was so proud of myself that I took that opportunity and it really worked well and bestseller. I mean, could you imagine to be a bestseller author when you've a couple of months before didn't even thought about ever writing a book or have that opportunity, and suddenly you are and you call yourself a best-selling author. I mean, how amazing is that? And then I put the book away, sat down on my couch, and suddenly that inner voice was screaming at me like, you are such a failure. You didn't achieve nothing in your life. And I don't know, it was like almost like a situation where I left my body and looked at me from the outside and saw what was happening, this voice and me, and I couldn't believe what I saw and heard, that I just had that moment with me and the book and the full thing, like what achievement that is, what kind of milestone that is. And now I'm sitting there and talk to me like that. I really couldn't believe that. And that was the turning point for myself, where I really had that realization that that was not just a one-time thing. It was constantly that I talked to myself like that, like I'm a failure, I'm not good enough, I don't know enough, and all that stuff. And then, yeah, I made the decision to not let that happen again. At least I cannot prevent my inner critic to talk to me like that, but I could do things to prove that it's different, and to prove myself that it's different, and remember myself that it's different than that voice is telling me. And so that I can manage that little voice a little bit. And yeah, that was the moment when my celebration journal was born. I always have a unlimited source of beautiful journals in my home because I love such stuff. And I took out one of the most beautiful ones and I called it my celebration journal. And I wrote down really every single thing that came to my mind in that moment. What I have done, what I have achieved, what I have ever done in my life, and kept that as a memory base. And then I made it a ritual, which I would do at least once a week to remember myself and build a database of evidence what I've really have done in my life. And not the failures, forget about that because that comes automatically, but definitely the things that I have created, that I achieved, the milestones, the action that I took, things like that. The small stuff, the big stuff, all of that. I captured it and I still to do that today. Till that day, I have my celebration journal and now already a new one because the old one was full. So yeah, that was the backstory to that. And it has such a huge effect on myself, on my confidence and now I don't the view I have on myself, and now I really can say I am worthy because now I am able to believe that. And that's I that's the best shift that ever could happen. So yeah.
So I'm curious, is that um, negative voice still there? Does it still happen?
It's still there. It still tries to come out once in a while whenever, yeah, somewhere it's always there, but it whenever I stop with that routine, or if I'm in a low energy mode anyways, then it almost is like it's just waiting for those moments to jump in and beat me up again to the ground and to keep me there. But now today I really am able to catch myself before that can happen. I still hear it, but I say thank you for sharing. By the way, have you read the journal lately? So what are you trying here? And yeah,
It's almost what comes to mind is say, liar, liar, pants on fire, you know?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
that, and I would imagine that that is not unusual, especially if you were raised in the house with somebody who was hypercritical,
Mm,
or used negativity as reverse psychology, thinking that was going to motivate you, and then you just like take it on because it was planted. It was, it's like in the base program of how
yeah.
you were raised. But a lot of us, mine's a little bit different. Mine is never, it's never enough. You know,
Mm,
I'll do it, and no sooner I achieve another goal, it's like I hardly even take time to notice that I achieved it, and I was
yeah.
on to the next thing. It was always the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And kind of what I finally realized was, how do I put this into words? Um, Not allowing myself, just like yours was negative, but mine was not allowing myself to enjoy the wins and stay present. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like, I don't know that this is true. I'm not a psychologist, but it's like, even though I don't look to the past, my running to the future all the time was like trying to outrun the past. I was never really present because I was always going to the future, to the future, to the future.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's kind of like, after our call, I have one more interview today, and I'm treating myself. I live in Colorado, in the middle of the US, not near any ocean. So to be able to get Alaskan cod on a food truck that comes through every once in a while, I'm going to go get me some Alaskan cod for lunch, and I'm like, that's a big deal to
Awesome.
get fresh fish in the middle of the mountains. So I'm
That's
also
awesome.
rewarding myself for just
Yeah.
because, and showing up every day. And we had this is our third event that we had in a row this week in the Women's Empowered Network. And, you're coming back to our new book this time,
Mm,
called The Power Revealed: From Inner Knowing to Outer Impact, to really help change women's lives on a deeper level. So now I take time to
yeah.
relish, and or I remember, like, I make a desire, and
Mm-hmm.
I used to live on the edge of a mesa, a cliff that had beautiful views in New Mexico, but it didn't have that feel like it does in Colorado for me. And so
Mm,
it was a dream for 23 years. And I remember having 2 acres, and the front of my house was level with the ground, and the back of my house dropped 8 feet. That's how steep my property was, and it kept going down like that. So it really wasn't usable. And it was just kind of this off the cuff comment I made to myself. It's like, it'd really nice to have 2 acres that's level that I could utilize.
mm,
And I've been here 10 years now. And every once in a blue moon, I'll walk across the property, and I'm like, yeah, I created this. I
yes.
chose this, and just really stay in a place of appreciation, and not go on to the next thing, but to really appreciate what I have created and what has come to fruition and what I have accomplished.
Yeah.
Um, so
And
to
that,
me, they kind of go together, don't they?
yeah, sure. And I mean that's why I love journaling in general, because and not only the typing on the phone and or talking into it and just put it out there somehow, but really take the time to sit down, take out the beautiful thing you call, however you call it, celebration journal in my case, appreciation journal, vision journal, I don't know. It doesn't matter, but take the time and really write it down. If you do it like you did while you walk across your property and really enjoy the moment, or if you use a tool like journaling and really sit down like 5 to 10 minutes maybe and just write it down. Write down what you love, what you did, what you have created, that you created that property and these 2 acres and really be in that moment and appreciate that and really enjoy that, let all the feelings out. That is helping too when you actually make it a kind of ritual or a regular check-in with yourself, or it doesn't matter how you do it as long as you do it somehow. And remember yourself that you remember all the amazing things that you have done and created.
It is. What does it do for you? What is some of the benefits of doing this for you?
Mm, besides the fact that I constantly and regularly remind myself of the things that I've done, it it leads me to, how can I say it? It gave me a boost of confidence for sure, because now I can actually see how amazing I am. And I don't want to be arrogant or so, but and there we are back again with the issues we women or people like us have usually. We don't brag about stuff like that, but it it helped me to be confident in doing that and being visible with that. And it also helped me at work, for example. I'm still in corporate part-time, but still. And we have this yearly reviews and goals, feedback sessions, and have we achieved what we wanted to achieve and all that. And I hated it because the questions were like, what went well in the last 12 months? And I never really knew what to write in there because I just doing my job. And this routine was celebrating my private wins and creations and so on really helped me with that as well, to see actually what I have done in my job, and then being able to verbalize that and put that into this annual journey summaries, and yeah, to make myself visible to my manager, for example, and with that also make our department visible to their senior management, and to make us visible in whole Europe and wherever. And it has so many side effects. This is just one thing. And then it gives me more confidence in things that I still want to do or still want to achieve. Because when I go through it and remind myself, I traveled solo, I don't know, to the US for 3 weeks and survived, then I suddenly see, oh my God, I've done that. So why not going solo around the world for 3 months, for example? With the 3 months, I have still a little bit of work to do because with the job, it doesn't allow myself, but I made it around the world just recently. And so one step on top of another, and I expand, and so the world around me expands, and it opens new doors and opportunities. And with that, more evidence comes around and more confidence comes around. And so it's a never-ending cycle, a spiral upwards, not downwards, but upwards.
Upwards and expansion and wider, more
Yes.
more possibilities. That is
Yeah.
so beautiful. I'm glad I asked that question because you touched on something that I think is universal. Is we're a lot of us were conditioned to not be boastful, to not stand out, to not make a scene. It's prideful to and arrogant, like you said. You touched on about boasting about yourself. And all of that is somebody being mistaken. There is absolutely nothing wrong with taking pride in what you've done and
Hmm.
sharing that.
Yeah.
I'm talking in general terms. Typically, it's easier for men, or they're been conditioned to, because they're kind of that male energy of competition, where women are more collaborative energy. but there's a balance between the two. And so it's revered that they boast about what they've done and they talk about what they've done. And so we can learn something from that. And
Mm.
especially like you said, in the corporate world, if you want to be recognized, if you don't speak up in a meeting, or I remember back, I used to work in corporate America, and gosh, this is back in my 20s and 30s, and I was very bashful and shy. And I was very blessed that I had bosses that saw my brilliance way
Mm.
before I did, because I would, like you said earlier about your mind, I would disqualify them, like, because I didn't think I was worthy. I didn't think I was enough. Like, you know, what are you talking about? Why do you think I can, lead this and take
Mm.
charge of this and manage other people? They're not going to listen to me, which didn't turn out to be true at all. I was very fortunate to be around supportive people. Um, but I really think it's like a universal cultural conditioning, that it's a skin that we've outgrown. And
Mhm.
and so celebrating your wins, I think, is a brilliant way to start owning your brilliance and taking it in. Because I know sometimes, if you don't feel worthy or good enough about yourself and somebody compliments you, you blow it off. You're like,
Mm.
oh, they don't know what they're talking about. They're not in my head. They don't really know me. They couldn't possibly know me to say that. Or whatever we do to deflect a compliment. And until we can accept our own compliment and self-love, then
Yeah.
we know where our work is.
Yeah, that's true.
I love how it's a progression. I love how, you first worked on the book, I Am Worthy, and then now talking about celebrating your wins and accomplishments, and then expanding what you thought was possible for yourself had you not gone on that journey and take 3 months to go around the world and still satisfy, your obligations to your corporate job. Um,
Mm.
that takes a lot of courage, I think. Um, and I love it. And I love that I've had the blessing and opportunity to meet you and to see how you just being you and you just being on your journey, how it can give other women permission and courage to expand what's possible for them.
I hope that I can inspire to exactly do that. Yeah.
It is. Well, is there anything else that comes to mind that you want to share?
Um, there is maybe one thing that celebrating your wins also touches or lead you to. Because if you are somehow into all kind of law of attraction theories and stuff like that, then you probably know that focusing on, or that expands where you focus on, and celebrating your wins naturally focus on exactly those and the things that you want and so on. And then we came back to the spiral upwards. It will attract even more of that. So even from that perspective, celebrating wins and successes is such an amazing tool that I discovered here for myself and for the rest of the world. So I'm pretty amazed by myself and the all the realizations that I have over the time. And it's I love that. I could go on forever about this topic and um yeah, celebrate yourself, your wins, see how you amazing you are, and nothing can stop you anymore.
I absolutely love that. Well, this has been an amazing conversation, Pia. I look forward to seeing you this next time around and what your new chapter is going to be about. I can't wait to read it. And the next level of evolution, going from I'm worthy to celebrating your wins to we'll see what's next, what unfolds. And I like that reference to the law of attraction, or which you put your attention on expands. So if you're putting your attention on wins, then you discover that you have more things to celebrate that you're winning, and that expands. So that's a beautiful way to think about it and look at it as well.
Mm. And one more thing, if there are some ladies out there who want a little bit of support with celebrating their wins and have a little journal prompt, if they like, I do have a free kind of celebration tracking sheet where you can exactly do that. One win per day, less than 5 minutes. If you want to get into it, then feel free to download it, and we will share the link in the comments, I guess.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
interested, you are welcome to try that, and let's see where it leads you to.
Yeah, and I would love to hear your story. And if you feel inclined, come do an interview with me live, one on one, and share your wins and what you discovered and what you're passionate about. So, like P, I'm so glad you brought that up. So be sure to, so it'll be a link that they can sign up for to get this, do this celebration, this 1 day celebration at a time.
They can sign up at any time. It's a ongoing thing. It's yeah, just follow the link and then sign up for it, and you will get it into your inbox immediately.
Well, there you go. Well, Pia, thank you so much for being with us today. It's such a pleasure as always. And hope you have a good evening as I continue my day. I always love that. And we will see you all next time. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. See you soon.